the Middle Grounds.
You've obviously never been there, or you call it the Monster Grounds.
This underwater oasis is known for offering up some of the hardest pulling, rod bending, drag melting action
Lock that thing down!
any angler can hope to experience.
That's it, Monster Grounds. You probably don't even fish and you want to do this.
Penn, the biggest name in fishing, presents Big Water Adventures with Mark Davis.
I'm very excited about that.
The biggest locations,
This is an absolutely giant fish.
exotic, even dangerous species.
Everywhere we go is an adventure.
Big Water
Take
Adventures.
some of that. Take some to your friends. There's plenty. How about that? Had a big water adventure. Wow. I mean, wow. Captain Travis never ceases to amaze me. Doubled up. First drop, straight down. We're back at the Monster Grounds with my good friend, Jeff Strain, also known as Dr. Vent, and one of the best offshore captains that I know, Captain Travis of LiveWireFishingCharters.com.
The Florida Middle Grounds is one of the hottest bottom fishing regions in the Gulf of Mexico, preserved for decades by its remoteness, over 100 nautical miles from the mainland. When you travel with Master Captain Travis Palladino aboard the Live Wire, a twin-turbo 45-foot custom Phantom, range is not an issue.
Tell you what kind of place Livewire Fishing Charters is. This guy has a bad day and apologizes, and it'd probably be one of my top 3 bottom fishing trips of the entire year everywhere I go. That's why you come to the Monster Grounds with Captain Travis.
Okay guys, drop right there.
Down we go! This is being filmed in August of 2009, and the reason I'm telling you that is because there's gonna be a bunch of regulations go into effect that are gonna affect the grouper and snapper rigs across the board for both recreational as well as commercial fishing. We're gonna do the best we can in our 30 minutes that we have and talk you through what we know. Well, let's see what I got. How about a genuine? And this guy, I've been waiting for this trip all year because I got something for him. You can see Jeff's got one back here in the back as well, but it's this easy. You go to where about 2/3 of the way back from the pectoral fin, find yourself a little scale. There goes the air. This fish would have probably died if not but for the fact I just vented it, and watch. Gone, straight back down.
Now that is a big water adventure.
Big Water Adventures is back out to the Monster Grounds. Some people call it the Middle Grounds. By the end of this show, you'll see my way of thinking.
Closed captioning for Big Water Adventures provided by Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter. Big Water Adventures is made possible by Penn, the biggest name in fishing. Bomber Saltwater Grade, engineered to the next power. Wiley X, high velocity protection. Onyx, keeping you there. Cajun Line, the original red line.
Yeah! Ain't as big as the one that just schooled me, but he's big. That's the thing, man. You never know out here. Thing could just be an oversized genuine. Heck, they all feel like gags. Jeff's doubled up back there.
That looks like a scamp right there, bub.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
Or
it?
red freshness. Not right color.
That is the right color.
Dang, how about that? First gag he did a boat.
Well, right now his swim bladder's ruptured from him coming up through the water column. And what you see in his mouth there is the stomach. So when the swim bladder ruptures, the stomach actually comes out of the mouth and then inflates the chest cavity. And if we were gonna let him go back down, we'd vent him and send him back down to the bottom, but we're gonna head her on into the ice box.
There's Color. See a grouper? Nope, he's red. I got him, Caps. Foul hook. We keep talking about what these are when we've got them on. The reason is if you bottom fish a lot, tune out if you already know this. When you hit them and they fight for about the first 30, 40 feet, then they start to do what we call stand up. Basically don't fight. They come in like a dish rag. They'll still fight a little bit on the way up, but the snappers don't do that. These little guys, that's why when we're not, and we're gonna keep a couple of them, because we are actually where the regs, that was part of our vengeance. How many of these we turned loose last year? And we're gonna keep a few of them this year. Within, we can get 2 per person per day, which is a modest limit, and it should be. But this fish right here could be 10 years old, he could be 3 years old. And he could be 10 or 3 and weigh 20 pounds. That's why it's so difficult to get these things, is you think as things get older, they get bigger. Not necessarily with snappers, and that's the reason they're so concerned.
Fecundity refers to a fish's reproductive potential. To put it simply, just because a fish is big, that doesn't necessarily mean it's of breeding age.
The otolith, which is located here at the back of the brain, unfortunately the only way to find out how old this fish is of course to kill it. But by looking at the rings, you'll be able to determine what the age of the fish is.
And keeping or killing a fish that hasn't had a chance to make babies doesn't do the ecosystem any good.
While I'm fighting whatever this is, why don't you go talk to Captain Travis about the regs as of August 2009.
Currently on the regs for 2009, where we're at, as a red snapper, you're allowed 2 per person, no captain and crew limit on charters. Gag grouper right now we're at 2. Red grouper are at 2. You're allowed a 4 grouper aggregate, which could be 2 of the gags, 2 of the reds, 4 scamps, or 4 true black grouper, or a mixture of a deep water grouper, which is a Warsaw, Kitty Mitchell, speckled rockhind.
Newly enacted regulations limiting the grouper and snapper harvest in the Gulf are helping to stabilize populations, but anglers need to go the extra mile to help ensure the future of all Gulf species. That's where Jeff Strain and Team Marine USA come in.
This is a genuine American red snapper, also known as a true American. Right in here is the chest cavity, and there's a little organ on the inside on the back of the spine here, which is called a swim bladder, and that helps regulate where the fish swims in the water column. Looking down through the end of its mouth, you can see that its stomach is protruding out a little bit from that swim bladder being ruptured.
Jeff's brainchild, the Prevent Pro Fishing Venting Tool, is the safest and most effective way to deflate the swim bladders of fish that have been reeled up from the depths, allowing them to return to the bottom with no ill effects.
Right back down he goes.
This would be the area that you would be venting right in here, down at the base of the pectoral fin.
There you go, Dr. Vent.
Thank you, sir. Come right behind the base of the pectoral fin at about 2/3 the length of the pec fin, underneath the scales and into the chest cavity.
I can hear it from here.
Gas is released, the stomach goes down, and then she should be able to maintain neutral buoyancy.
Like we said, folks, you know, this guy is, and Captain Travis for that matter, is as conservation minded as anybody that you'll ever meet. It's okay to eat these fish. God made them out of meat, that's how you can tell. But we got to put regulations on them because a 20-pound genuine could be 3 years old or it could be 20 years old. They live to see their 50th birthday. They actually do. They live 50 years if they're left alone. So the big boom that you're seeing out here, my understanding in you know, nuts and bolts is it's because, you know, the trawlers, the bycatch from the commercial guys, that's been cut down. So we've had, you know, 3 years of really good snapper spawns. All these different sizes of fish, get age out of your head, and that's what they're trying to get their arms around. Keep in mind before you jump all over everybody, they're trying to make sure that we've got these fish for generations to come. So if they jump it over and do too much, hey man, it's better than doing too little. So we'll wait it out, see what happens. What do you think about this one, Cap Trav?
Throw them back, we'll get bigger.
You got it. As you can tell from me asking Captain Travis, I'm jonesing a little bit to catch my limit of red snappers because last year they hurt me so bad. But Captain Travis knows these fish. So real time, just like we were talking about, going to my venting tool. Instead of chromy, I'm going with Mr. White tool this time. Just basically plastic as opposed to aluminum. Go 2/3 of the pectoral fin back, find you a scale. You know, I found me a scale, look at that. That's why Dr. Vent does this. All right, hear that? I don't think there's a whole lot of arguing the fact that when you can do that to a fish and they make it and they go like this when you put them back in, right back down he goes. Now what he's doing right there, I actually see him doing it. He just swallowed his stomach on the way down. That's what had him buoyant for just a minute. They'll do that on their own. They just turn their stomach inside out, just like when you don't feel very well, you go, same concept.